Hello and welcome to this week's how-to video for parents. I'm Karen Locke-Culp. I am an expert in child development. I've got a master's degree and a bachelor's degree, both having to do with human development, family relations, child development, schooling, stuff like that. Plus, I've got almost a decade's experience in a state-of-the-art, town-run, excellent preschool program. And I've now raised two boys to the ages of 18 and 14, so we're doing pretty good there too. I am getting in here today to answer a question. So first of all, I do these videos every single week. Every Thursday, I get in and I create a new video. And this one is in response to a question from one of my coaching clients, a woman who's in my community. And she is worrying because she's got what she perceives as a mismatched energy level with her 4-year-old daughter. And so I'm going to read some of her post. She writes, I feel so depleted when I've done the things it takes to really connect with my daughter. She's got so much energy, way more than her sister did when she was age 4. I'm an introverted homebody, and this girl gets exhausted whenever we have to stay at home all day. She continues, you've been talking about literacy lately, so my top of mind example is around reading. My daughter won't sit still for me to read to her unless I dial everything to 10. Change voices for the character's dialogue, gestures throughout the story, basically pour my heart and soul into an elaborate reading. And once the story's done, she wants to be done with it. She disengages, and if I want to talk about the character's motivations or the lessons for us or extend it into any kind of teaching. In play, my daughter gravitates to large muscle activity like trampolines and throwing and swimming. She rushes through arts and crafts with a focus on getting finished, that goal way more important than getting the result to look the way that she wants. And she walks out on the conversation if I try to talk to her about it in nurturing that growth mindset and all, she writes. I have a good idea of how to reach her, how to teach her. She values the things that I teach with songs, with running, with mess making. When I do it, it works. It's just that I can't keep pace with her. No matter how much self-care I do, I'll never have enough in my tank to meet her needs for anything more than a short burst of activity. And this mom is just wondering, like, how do I make it through the day? How do I match this kind of energy? How do I keep going when my tank is on empty and my daughter's is still on full and full and full and full? And so I guess the first thing that I would say is hugs to you if you're going through this, whether you are my coaching client or whether you are not in the Ninja parenting community. But I think there's a couple of practical things that I would suggest. So the first one is to think on this. You've got to meet your daughter where she is. Like, she can't come to you. So if developmentally she's not ready to talk about the lessons maybe learned in a story or to kind of go deep on things that you want to go deep on, I would just say to you, understand that that's where she is developmentally. It's not a I'm sorry, I've not got the words for this, but she's not trying to, it's not like a deliberate thing. She's not trying to hurt you, right? She's not trying to get in trouble. She's just, this is simply where she is in her development. And as the adult, it's our job to kind of know that and know that we can expect certain things and we can expect other things not to work, right? We can expect certain things to go well and we can expect other things to not go well. So practically speaking, I think that's an important consideration. She can only be where she is, so it's up to us to move to her. And knowing too that this will get better. So my now 14-year-old was exactly this kind of child and a continual extrovert, whereas his brother and I were like, but we don't want to move. We just want to sit on the couch and read. And the cool thing is that I did match his energy level. Well, I met him where he was. I matched his energy level when I could, and sometimes I couldn't, and that was okay. And I am now, he's 14, and so he's expending that energy in different ways, right? But one of the great things is that we have the most coolest, most in-depth conversations. It's got a lot more to do with the relationship that we have built than any kind of plan on my part to try and teach him when he was young, because I would say, okay, he's not ready for that yet, you know. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to really think about taking the pressure off of yourself. And by that I mean, you know, don't worry about, don't try to imbue every moment or every day even with like valuable lessons. Just live, just enjoy the time. I mean, one of my favorite things to do when my kids were young was just to marvel at the differences in their personalities and to see how one kid would react to something versus how another kid would react to something. And this also carried back into my preschool training, because we can't sort of make them do what we want them to do in any given moment. You know, we can put food in front of them, but we can't make them eat it, right? We can we can go so far in terms of helping them know right and wrong. We can make sort of the punishment fit the crime, for example. We can utilize natural consequences of, if you've broken something, well, now you know, it's your job to clean it up, right? We can have those expectations for our kids, but in terms of putting education into them, or uh, food or anything really, but in terms of like what you're talking about here, where the energy levels are so very different. And you know, I guess I keep coming back to this idea because it sounds like your daughter is really, really interested in and adores the plays that you put on when you're reading a story, but she's totally not interested in talking about the characters and the lessons to be learned and that kind of thing. And so I would say just take the pressure off yourself by not teaching those things anymore. Let her be where she is with her enjoyment of this story, because it'll come back. It will come back in spades. You will be repaid in spades by giving her what she wants and needs from a story now. Because when she's older, she's gonna be much more able to listen to you, not just listen to you, but to engage with you in a discussion about the characters and stuff like that. So that's the second one. Um, the third one is for you to tell her your perspective, as in, I know she's 4, but for you to be able to say to her, I, you know, I just can't put the energy into this. I'm not built the same way that you're built. And that's okay. I think it's most important that kids understand that the world doesn't really revolve around them, right? That's an important lesson. So there are times where she's going to have to engage for herself. She's going to have to figure it out for herself, and that's okay. It's good. Even it's much more important that they learn how to do that, and that we don't exhaust ourselves trying to reach their energy level all the time, or trying to give them what they want all the time. You could even put this in the form of like saying to her, okay, you know, if you know this character so well, or if you really want this acted out, well, why don't you help me? So I'll read some of these, and then you can act out some of the other ones that you know really, really well when you're reading a story together or something like that. And that is just actually one of the practical ideas that I outlined in our forums. So to this particular coaching client, you can definitely dive in there and see if these resonate with you. I've listed 2 or 3, maybe more, things that you can do to to get your energy level situation a little bit more closely resolved. And I think those are but that's what I want to leave you with, is the idea that like it is possible for you to resolve this, whether you are this coaching client or whether you're somebody else watching. It's possible for you to resolve this in a way that teaches your children that sometimes they're gonna be responsible for amusing themselves, and also for engaging when you feel up for it, for the fun and the as you say, the mess making and the joyousness of acting out a story like crazy. I suspect that what her teachers do, because you write, how do her teachers do it every day? And so I suspect that she's very engaged in school because there's a lot more activity, right? But I also think that part of that is there are established routines, and the teachers do things to encourage kids to learn on their own, right? To act things out on their own, to put things together on their own, to build on their own, to find people to run around with, and it doesn't have to, everything doesn't have to be orchestrated by us, I guess is the point I'm making. So I really, really hope that helps. And if you are watching and I have a situation, or you've thought of a situation that I can help you resolve, and you are not a member of the Ninja Parenting community yet, well, click the link below and come and join us, because I teach parents cool stuff like this every day. And I think I can help you too. I can help you resolve whatever situation is going on with your young child, whether it's potty training, whether it's sibling rivalry, whether it's getting them to eat food, whether it is an energy level issue. I hope you come and click the link in the show notes and come and join us. It is, by the way, weturnedoutokay.com/join NPC is how you can get to that. And come and let me help you too, and be a part of our community, and post into our forums and get responses that are helpful and fun. It's a good time in there. So I hope you'll come and join us. And that is all for this how-to video. I hope it's been helpful, and I will see you next week. All right. Bye.